going to stay with us over the next few days. Daytime temperatures are going to be way down. I'll show you more of that in a minute. The radar already showing the snow showers, sleet and snow showers affecting many eastern regions, and the remnants of the rain and drizzle in the west. That tending to die away through the afternoon, becoming brighter for a time, and then some of those wintry flurries pushing their way a little bit further westward through the afternoon as the snow becomes more widespread across many eastern regions. I think in some places, as we go through into this evening, we could see as much as 2 to maybe 6 inches of snowfall. Other areas may just see a slight dusting, so it's going to be rather variable. On top of that, we're going to see those freshening northeasterly winds bringing a bitterly cold feel today, and problems with perhaps some drifting overnight where that snow does tend to build up. And as you can see, it comes in quite thickly through the evening and over much of the night. I think it gradually extends its way further eastwards. Many western areas, sheltered western areas, probably staying dry, and things a little bit drier to end in the southeast. But a frosty night to come. Tomorrow a cold, bitterly cold day. Daytime temperatures struggling to reach freezing.
This is BBC One.
For a freezing start to the new year.
Difficult journey to work. Sheffield, like many cities, woke up to a blanket of snow. It was a similar picture in Leeds, the Siberian winds keeping temperatures well below zero. Flights in and out of Leeds Bradford Airport were severely disrupted, and there's disruption too to tomorrow's fixture list. Many games north and south of the border have already been called off. While it may be fun for some, there's the prospect of more heavy snow. Severe weather is tonight being forecast in many parts of the northeast. Richard Cook, ITN, West Yorkshire.
In the south, Kent was worst hit. The county that's called the Garden of England was blanketed in up to 4 inches of snow. With temperatures below zero and feeling colder still in the east wind, isolated farms and country homes faced a bitter winter's day. Wind whipped up snow and blinded drivers on Kent's country lanes. This electricity van was one of the few who had to risk driving on roads like these. They tried to keep key routes open, but even the motorways in Kent were reduced to a crawl. This was the M20 early today, normally one of Britain's busiest motorways. The flat farmlands of East Anglia saw heavy snow which quickly drifted onto exposed roads, driven by a freezing east wind. Snowplows battled all day to keep them clear. For farmers, this will soon pose major problems, reaching livestock cut off from grazing and feed. A farm worker in Suffolk died earlier today, digging his car from the snow. In the East Midlands, traffic kept moving despite blizzard-like conditions. Here were some of the lowest temperatures, -5 last night, -10 expected tonight. And the forecast, more freezing temperatures, but the south may have seen the worst of the snow. Ian Glover-James, ITN.
Live now to Ian Glover-James in Kent.
Countries you may well have seen earlier on the news, and indeed temperatures today over many parts stayed well below freezing. That's the highest it got in the southeast, -3, and we're not alone, because over on the continent, in fact in Germany, they're going to need that bit of comedy tonight to warm things up, because the temperature there was -12. We've had a lot of snow showers too. They've been running in across southeast Scotland, northern England, through North Wales and the North Midlands, and they're still there, some in the Channel Islands too, and they're going to be carried across on those bitter east to northeast winds. So some more snow showers to come in those northern parts this evening, but perhaps fizzling out a little bit later on in the night. Here we are, feeding across northern England, down to North Wales and North Midlands. Perhaps a few flurries running across the south of the country as well, but generally speaking, everything gets a little bit lighter as the night goes on. But a really sharp, penetrating, severe frost, a real pipe freezer tonight. Temperatures well below freezing, and that wind not helping either. Those run of easterly winds are still going to be there tomorrow. So we're going to start off over England and Wales with a fair amount of cloud. There could be those flurries of snow scattered around too, and maybe still some left in southeast Scotland and northeast England. But all the while, I think most of the showers will tend to get lighter and fade away. So we're going to get some brightness and some dry weather coming through. In the northeast of Scotland, though, clouding up with some showery bursts of rain or sleet moving down as the day wears on. Winds in the north somewhat lighter, but still pretty strong across the southern half of the country. So again, it is really going to feel bitterly cold, temperatures remaining below freezing in most parts, certainly everywhere in the south and over the hilly areas further north as well. And then the wintry scene continues into Thursday. Across Scotland, we're going to find these outbreaks of rain and sleet and snow edging slowly southwards during the course of the day, eventually ending up into northern parts of England. The odd flurry of snow across the east coast as well, and again in southern parts of the country, temperatures staying close to freezing. And then come Friday, although not quite so cold, still a wintry scene with some sleety bits and pieces near to that eastern coast. That's all from me, except from all of us, a Happy New Year.
A snowdrift in Suffolk. The first footing in Scotland tonight. In fact, it'll be cold everywhere because even by day, very few places reached above zero. We still did better than our European cousins. Many of these temperatures are record low values. And all the time, of course, the wind continues. It'll be not just cold, but severely cold. Despite the fact the temperatures don't look that low, there's a fair wind chill in that. So if you're out and about tonight, well, you'll feel it, I can assure you. Now, all the time we keep the easterly winds, and that'll be at least today, tomorrow, and the next day, then it'll stay severely cold. But there's a hint of it being less cold from the north of Scotland as that warm front comes through at the start of next year. For the time being, though, the winds continue to bring snow showers to southern Scotland, to northern England, and North Wales, and even down as far south as the Channel Islands. Yes, there is snow in Jersey at the moment. The winds themselves, though, will become slightly lighter over Scotland, and later on tomorrow, I suspect, over North Yorkshire as well, which means there'll be some easing in the appalling weather of the Pennines at the moment. A cold day without doubt. The snow will continue to fall, particularly in northern England, down along through Norfolk, Staffordshire, and even the far south of England. Less so, of course, up in Scotland, where it should be quite bright. But as the cloud does thicken later in the day, so it'll tend to ease off in northern England as well. So a brighter end, maybe, for North Yorkshire. Still a cold day, very few places above zero. Into Thursday, and the cloud thickens. It'll be slightly less cold. Sleet and snow will push down across the whole country, and Friday looks positively balmy. Happy New Year.
Yes, good afternoon. It's going to stay bitterly cold for the next few days, including the weekend. Perhaps not as intense as it is just at the moment, where temperatures across the bulk of the country will remain below freezing, 0 to -3 degrees, just around some of the coastal areas in particular, and over into Northern Ireland are temperatures above freezing. We've still got some snow around as well, particularly across Lincolnshire, South Yorkshire, the North Midlands, and into central parts of Wales. We see some snow flurries in the London area this morning, and it's still snowing steadily down there in the Channel Islands as well. Not too much sunshine about, and that's the way things are going to stay for the rest of today. Another system, though, moving in from the north at the moment, that's going to bring some more enhanced rain and sleet, readily turning to snow across northern Britain later on today and through tonight. Central and southern Scotland and northern England seeing more snow during the next 24 hours. Just a few flurries further south, but a very hard frost coming up, a penetrating frost once again, and temperatures down to -6 to -8 degrees across central and southern parts of England.